Hello everyone, welcome to the ITLS Academy. Our today's lecture is on the topic diet before and during pregnancy. Okay, the first topic is pre and periconceptional nutrition in women. Okay, why is periconceptional nutrition is important? Let me tell you. A mother nutrition status prior to conception and preconception 3, that is your 3 months before, and immediately afterward periconceptional of 2 to 3 months after is very critical. The fetus is most vulnerable to nutritional deficiencies in the first trimester of the pregnancy and often before a woman realizes that she is pregnant. So there is an evidence that poor maternal nutrition has both immediate, example low birth weight and long-term consequences, and the so-called fetal origin or Barker hypothesis proposes that fetal growth plays a major role in determining the risk of some dietary related non-communicable diseases, for example, your cardiovascular disease and a type of 2 diabetes in adulthood. The next is your dietary changes. Means what dietary changes should a mother make to increase the likelihood of conceiving and giving birth to healthy infant? In this regard, the first point is take folic acid supplement to protect against neural tube defect, that is called as NTDs. Okay, here folic acid supplements are given to prevent the first occurrence of NTD, that is nearly 400 microgram during preconception and until the 12th week of pregnancy on prescription or over the counter. And it is also useful to prevent recurrence of NTDs, during which the 5000 microgram during preconception and until the 12th week of pregnancy on prescription only is given. Next is foods. For this, foods rich in folic acid should be given. That is, rich source may include that greater than 100 microgram per serving. That is your Brussels sprout, cake, spinach, and good source serving 50 to 100 microgram per serving. That is fortified bread, breakfast cereals, broccoli, cabbage, cauliflowers. These should be given to for the as a supplements for folic acid. Next point is your eat a varied diet, which means refers to a balance of good health in food based. Means eat a varied diet means food based dietary guidelines, and that is includes your balance of good health. Means the main points under this is it includes such as 5 portion of the fruit and vegetables a day. There should be a requirement of eat a variety of different foods from all the food groups, and also restrict food containing too much saturated fats and sugars. Next, diet is achieve and maintain ideal weight at preconception, that is BMI of 18.5 to 24.9 kilogram per meter square. Here, it means that weight needs to be stabilized 3 months before attempting conception. There is a low body fat content, that should be less than 22% of the body weight and can prevent the ovulation. Average body fat content of post pubertal women. Obesity, that is your BMI increases or BMI should greater than 30, can inhibit ovulation due to the associated changes in insulin activity and its effect on hormone activity. Obesity at concept can influence the pregnancy at high pressure, impaired blood sugar metabolism, gestational diabetes, and delivery and infant health, such as your preterm delivery, prolonged labor, unplanned cesarean, infant health, stillborn fetus, difficulty in initiating and sustaining breastfeeding. So, for this, there should be an ideal way that preconception should be maintained. Next is you reduce alcohol consumption and ideally exclude the alcohol. Therefore, alcohol intake may be associated with decreased fertility and can affect the growing fetus. Being drinking in particular is not recommended. Next point is avoid excess intake of retinol or vitamin A, that is containing beta carotene in is not toxic. So for this here, avoid vitamin A supplement, liver pate or sources as retinol in teratogenic at extreme intake. You should avoid drugs that contain vitamin A or its analogs such as your cystic acne medication. Women who smoke should seek support for giving up in preparation for pregnancy. Women should and be encouraged to follow the food safety advice for pregnant women, and they also should be follow the food safety in pregnancy and maternal weight gain as a precautionary measures for when conceptions occur. Okay, the next is dietary guidelines during pregnancy. The dietary recommendation are same as normal healthy diet except for additional requirements for six nutrients. That is, if we talk about the caffeine, first one, the caffeine may contribute to low birth weight by increasing fetal heart rate, although evidence is inconclusive. Your tea, coffee, cocoa, and cola type drinks are advised in moderation. That is, up to 4 cups a day of these combined equivalents to 300 mg per day. Generally, it is suggested that decaffeinated tea and coffee or other alternatives such as fruit tea or fruit juice or water should be more efficient, should be good if you are taking it. Tea and coffee also sometimes reduces the iron absorption. The next is your alcohol. Current optimal advice is abstinence in pregnancy, especially important in the first trimester. However, occasional drinking of small quantities, that is up to 4 units per week, but not more than 2 units at any sittings, is unlikely to harm the fetus. But excessive being drinking is most dangerous and can have the teratogenic effect leading to fetal alcohol syndrome which affect the births, and risk is elevated in women drinking up to greater than 8 units a day, and symptoms in infant are growth could be seen as their retarded growth and craniofacial and CNS defect. The cardiac and genitourinary abnormalities could may occur if you do not control your alcohol consumption during your pregnancy. Last one is your use of vitamin and mineral supplements in pregnancy. And let's see how it is effective and how it is useful of use of vitamins and mineral supplements in pregnancy. Women should try and obtain nutrients from a balanced diet, and women need to be advised against taking high dose of multivitamins and mineral supplements, some of which can quickly reach toxic level and may have teratogenic effect, particularly if we're talking about the vitamin A, as I told you in the previous slide. So women should not consume more than 3300 microgram per day of vitamin A, and this could may lead the supplements uh, or discouraged. However, in areas of world where vitamin A deficiency is prevalent, supplements may be beneficial for a pregnant woman. If we talk about another nutrient, that is your folic acid as a vitamin and multi-nutrient, is only supplement recommended for blanket use of women until the 12th week of pregnancy. As I told you that it is important in pre and periconceptional nutrition in women in the first slide. So iron store should be verified preconceptionally, and in pregnancy iron supplements can cause constipation and sometimes other gastrointestinal changes and may interfere with the zinc absorption. There is inconclusive evidence to recommend vitamin D supplement during pregnancy, and currently the D recommends that sunlight dietary source of vitamin D should be encouraged to meet the increase in the requirement of 10 microgram per day. So women could be some women could be at risk of vitamin D deficiency if insufficient skin exposure lead to neonatal hypocalcemia and rickets, and therefore may need vitamin D supplements also sometimes. So advice caution about herbal supplements, as these are not generally evaluated for safety in pregnancy. So these are the supplements, these are the materials that your caffeine, alcohol, and your vitamin and minerals. These are certain elements that should be keep in mind when used during pregnancy. Next topic is food safety in pregnancy. Okay, beside following the normal safe food hygiene practices, pregnant women should be advised to avoid the additional practices that have been specifically linked to microorganisms that can lead to your fetal malformations. In that regard, if we talk about, the first point is avoiding the salmonellosis. In severe cases can cause premature labor and miscarriage. Therefore, avoid generally you have to avoid raw or undercooked eggs due to salmonella risk. White and yolk should be hard boiled if you are taking, and raw egg may be found in homemade mayonnaise, ice cream, mousse, so this should be avoided. Avoid generally raw or partially cooked meat, especially in poultry. Next point is your avoiding listeriosis. It is generally caused by Listeria monocytogenes. It is rare, but even mild infection can lead to miscarriage, stillbirth, or would be result in ill newborn. So women should avoid all types of wheat, including your vegetables, the mold, ripened soft cheese, for example, brie and camembert should be avoided. Blue vein cheese, for example, Stilton, Roquefort, and other unpasteurized cheese should be avoided in this condition. You should also avoid the unpasteurized milk, including your cow, goat, sheep, and associated milk products. Eating uncooked or undercooked ready prepared meals should also be avoided during this condition. Third point is your regarding safety is avoiding toxoplasmosis. That is, mother has flu symptoms and infant has blindness and mental retardation caused by Toxoplasma gondii. So in this regard, you have to avoid the cats, as they can be a carrier for this. You should also avoid the cooked poultry and meat thoroughly. If you are taking the salad, you have to wash it properly, fruits and vegetables to remove all the soils. Reheat ready prepared meals and leftover to avoid listeria. Next is avoiding vitamin toxicity. For this, avoid liver and its product, as they are rich in vitamin A, reducing likelihood of developing infant allergies. Sometimes Uh, in many people's nut and peanut allergies are found. So, if there is an atopic family history, women should avoid the peanut, nuts, peanut butter, and unrefined groundnut oils. In this case, to avoid the allergies, foods containing nuts not always easy to follow. Patient need to check for nut-free label on foods. Last one is avoiding mercury poisoning that can affect the neural developing of the fetus. In this regard, you have to avoid the fish high in mercury, that is your shark, marlin, and swordfish. Limit tuna to greater than less than 4 medium-sized cans or 2 fresh tuna sticks a week.
Now, next is the maternal weight gain. How much weight should be a woman gain during pregnancy? It is not always easy to determine women's energy requirement in early pregnancy as BMR falls in some women, rises in others. Weight gained in pregnancy is a combination of maternal and fetal tissue and fluid as well as the maternal fat stores. Therefore, the rate of weight gain is usually not constant. Around 2 kg or 5 laps are gained in the first trimester and the remainder fairly evenly throughout the second and third trimester at a rate of around 0.4 kg per week. Therefore, both too little and too much weight gain can adversely affect the fetus. In this regard, if I talk about the too much maternal weight gain during pregnancy can postpartum the maternal obesity, possibility of caesarean, infant macrosomia, and increase the risk of gestational diabetes. And if the condition arises of too little maternal weight gain, that would lead to low birth weight baby with subsequent effect on long-term health. Therefore, however, the best advice is to encourage the woman to eat the appetite in pregnancy and to monitor the weight gain within the above ranges. On average, if we talk about weight gain is of 10 to 12 kg or 20 to 28 laps should be anticipated in women of normal BMI in higher income countries. Women who are overweight or obese should not attempt to lose weight during pregnancy but should limit the weight gain to 7 to 11 kg. Usually, not around 2 kg are gained in the first trimester, as I told, and the remainder fairly even throughout the second and third trimester at the rate of around 0.4 kg. Next is the problem of weight gain is occurs due to the multiple pregnancy also. The multiple birth account for 1 in 6 of every birth in every countries. Women carrying twins or more will gain even more weight than women carrying one fetus only. In absence of other guidelines, the US Institute of Medication recommendations are used. Here, the 16 to 20.5 kg weight gain for women carrying the twins or who begin with the pregnancy with a normal weight has been recorded, and women pregnant with triplet should probably aim for gain of around a further 4.5 kg. Therefore, a healthy weight gain is particularly important in multiple pregnancies as they carry a higher risk of premature birth and low birth weight. Next topic is dietary problems in pregnancy. As during pregnancy, many dietary problems arises. The first case is food aversion and craving. Aversion are relatively common especially for tea, coffee, fried food, and eggs, and food cravings can be strong but depends on the particular individuals. There are no nutritional implications as long as not craving and eating a lot of energy dense food that results in excessive weight gain. The next problem is your pica. Pica is persistent craving of for non-food substances ranging from your coal, clay candles, matchboxes to soil. It can be harmful if the item craved and eaten is toxic or eaten in larger enough quantities to have an impact on nutritional status. Eating soil could carry the risk of toxoplasmosis, and evidence for physiological basis of need is inconclusive. Pica is often associated with the iron deficiencies, but it is uncertain whether iron deficiency causes the pica or conversely whether a pica causes iron deficiency via its proposed effect on iron absorption. The next one is the most common symptoms, that is the pregnancy sickness or alias morning. During the first trimester, that is approximately 70% of the women have pregnancy sickness, that is having the symptoms of nausea and vomiting. As women adjust to higher hormonal level, especially human chorionic gonadotropin and high estrogen levels. Okay, although often referred to as morning sickness, vomiting can occur at any time of the day. Therefore, it varies from slight nausea to frequent and severe vomiting. Most cases are mild, but its impact on the pregnant woman's sense of well-being and daily activities. In this regard, hyperemesis gravidarum is the most severe form and is defined as persistent nausea and vomiting leading to dehydration and ketonuria, electrolyte imbalance, and weight loss greater than the 5% of pre-pregnancy weight. Next common problem is the constipation problem, and around 30 to 40% of the women suffer during the pregnancy as peristalsis is slower. Encouraging fresh and dried fruit and vegetable for pectins and whole meal bread, breakfast cereals for cereal fiber will relieve the symptoms, and plenty of fluid preferably, as water should be taken during this condition. Facial bulking agent may also be helpful during this. Women may intentionally restrict their fluid intake to reduce frequency of micronutrients. This could be a factor in them becoming the constipated. Next, last problem is the heartburn. Heartburn is common, and 30 to 50% of the pregnant women experiences the symptoms of this problem, and this can occur at any stage of pregnancy, but usually it is seen in third trimester of the period, and it is regularly suggested for them that small and frequent meals should be taken. They should eat early in the evening and avoid late night meals. They should chew the food properly and slowly, and take excessive of fluids between meals and not at meal times. Dairy food may relieve symptoms of this heartburn. So therefore, avoid spicy and acidic foods that may irritate your gastrointestinal mucosa. Food causing symptoms varies a lot in different women, for example, including your chili, vinegar, pepper, acidic fruit juice. Therefore, you should avoid food that relax esophageal muscles before bedtime, for example, your chocolate, fatty food, alcohol, and mint. Sleep propped up and with cushions. Avoid bending after the eating. Therefore, if you go through these points, you can feel better from your heartburn condition. Next, some advices are given during the pregnancy. Frequent small meals and snack every 2 hours, avoiding large meals should be taken. High carbon, hydrogen, oxygen foods are best tolerated. For example, your toast, your dry biscuit, crackers, low sugar breakfast cereals could be good for your health. Avoid smells and food that exacerbate nausea. For example, high-fat food should be avoided. However, these foods will depend on each woman. Everybody, every woman has different body and different perceptions for having their food meals for digestion. Taking food and drink separately can help to decrease the nausea in some women. It increases plenty of fluids, especially as water and other sugar-free fluid, as dehydration may occur in extreme cases. Recommended at least 35 ml per kg body weight daily, that is equivalent to 9 mg of the fluid in a 65 kg woman. Taking time to rest and relax, and also along with that take fresh air. Reassure women that most cases resolve spontaneously in the first 16 to 20 weeks of your pregnancy. When symptoms are persistent, severe, and prevent daily activities, drug treatment should be considered. Okay, next point is vulnerable groups in pregnancy. As not all the pregnant women are normal in their life, some have the problems, some get pregnant during their adolescent, some are vegetarian, and some also during pregnancy have low income and could not have the better condition to provide nutrition, better nutrition to their body. Talking the first point as the adolescent, pregnancy and adolescence increases the risk to fetus of low birth weight, perinatal mortality, and premature delivery. If we talk about in terms of mother of anemia, difficult labor, and hypertension problem may arise during the adolescent condition. So as adolescents are still growing, optimal weight gain is unknown, but it is likely to be higher than for adult women. They are less likely to eat healthily and have higher RNI for calcium and iron than women that is less than 18 years, and therefore iron deficiency, and therefore they are less likely to meet requirement for calcium and iron. Also, iron deficiency anemia can result in low birth weight and preterm delivery. So according to that, they may have a problem in reducing the energy intake to try and hide pregnancy, or problem may arise due to low incoming and smoking, alcohol consumption, substance abuse, and previous dieting leading to low nutrient stores and various other factors. If we talk about the vegetarian, being vegetarian should pose no problem in pregnancy if the woman is well informed and eating a balanced lacto-ovo, lacto-vegetarian diet. Pregnant vegan, fruitarian, macrobiotic women should be seen by a dietitian to access overall nutrient adequacy of their diet, and they may require supplementation of vitamin B12, iron, and vitamin D or calcium. Some fortified soya milk contains these nutrients. Next is your low income and pregnancy. Although it is difficult to generalize, but women on low income may find it harder to achieve an adequate diet. The key nutrients at risk of low intake are zinc and iron, and vitamin A, C, and E, and essential fatty acids needed for fetal neural and vascular system development. These essential fatty acids are found in green vegetables, oily fish, and certain vegetable oils. Cheaper blended vegetable oils and margarine are often consumed but they contain less essential fatty acids. Next is closely spaced pregnancies. Women having closely spaced pregnancies may have low nutrient stores at conception and in early pregnancy, so taking a dietary history would be useful to access previous and current diet for nutrient adequacy. The last one is your diabetic woman. Many women are having the problem of diabetes. during their pregnancy. So regular glucose monitoring and glucose compliance will result in some outcome as for non-diabetic mothers. However, poor control can increase the risk of preeclampsia, increase the fetal problem, and also increase the infant mortality. So it is important to have an eye on your regular diabetic plan and regular glucose level of your body. I hope you have understood all the nutrients requirement of a pregnant woman that should be taken care in during pregnancy and post pregnancy and prior pregnancy. For more information related to this, quickly log on to our website www.itelsacademy.com and register yourself. For more information, you can also follow us on Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, LinkedIn. And yes, do not forget to subscribe our channel ITLS Academy at YouTube. Thank you.